on to the Retro Ranger wrap-up here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Yes! Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Manhattan Beach at the Comic Bug.
Yeah. So we're so happy you could join us. We're actually going to finish the Phantom Ranger arc today. We're so sad that Joe is not here in his costume.
Darn.
He said he would be. Boo on him. If you get a chance, go to his social media and go ahead and write him some flavored comments.
Surprise! Joe disappointed someone. Anyway,
wow.
Wow.
Throwing some shade.
I just want to say that because you know what's going to happen. They're all like, oh, no, Joe's not here. Maybe I'm not going to watch.
Boo, you're going to watch because we're talking about 4 episodes today. The first of them being The Darkest Hour.
Yes. That is true. First one is Darkest Hour. Second one
The Darkest Day.
Oh, Darkest Day. That's right.
It wasn't just an hour. It was a whole day. I apologize.
The second one is One Last Hope. Then after that, Follow the Phantom. And because we chose to make sure that we were going to finish up the Phantom Ranger, we were looking forward to having Joe here. Maybe he'll show up at the last second with it. Because you know how like the Phantom Ranger kind of ghosts everyone and disappears.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I was here the whole time. Maybe Joe will do that. Who knows?
True.
And the last one is Clash of the Megazords, which was interesting. But these episodes. Okay. First thing we have the other Divatox.
Yes.
We have the actor from the film coming back and reprising her role as Divatox. She was probably busy. And now she's here. So that was cool. I gotta say, I do like her acting a little bit more than the one who had to play 2 roles. Because this Divatox, they tend to write more towards her, and she, I guess she's more,
I'm gonna be real, I don't recognize faces. I was just like, they're wearing the same costume, so they're the same person.
I'm face blind because you're wearing a mask anyway. How do I know?
Yeah, I have no idea. I just thought she was already weaker because, you know, Divatox, being this cool pirate chick, tries to crush Rangers with rocks. And I was like, you know, Divatox, your plans for world domination are getting progressively cheaper, my friend.
Are you really planning
these? She put
Algar
on a cliff, and these Rangers are hiking, and they're like, let's just push some boulders over. They'll probably hit them, right? And then they did it, and I was like, yo, Divatox,
he looks like an inbred worm with arms. Like, literally. And that's what you didn't trust your whole plan to. And then what do you tell him to do? Hey, toss boulders down a hill. That will finish everything. My thing was, they were Rangers, and when they're going up the hill and they notice no one else is around, I would have been like, morph in and just start punching the boulders, blowing them up, and be like, hey, Algar, how you doing? So make it feel even worse.
Just kind of like walk out of the path of the boulder. You know, like, here it comes. They had like a good several seconds, and they could have, walked over.
So there goes the comparison.
Oh, the outfit! That outfit was that.
Well, that's the movie one.
Okay,
that's the thing. The movie one, you get to show a little bit more. But looking at the faces, honestly, there was no way I would have been able to tell.
Couldn't really
honestly, there isn't. But once again, I knew that it was, so I saw the acting. And the acting was different. Like, she would kind of do things where she was like, stop. Oh, I love that. Like a little more
flamboyant, I guess. Instead of like our other Divatox is a little more feisty and kind of angry
and ready to eat Rangers whole.
Yes.
So, with her tongue like bleh, now. So she's a little bit. There's just a little difference between the two. But definitely we had the flying rocks. But then we get introduced, of course, to Divatox.
Her brother. General
Havoc.
And I like General Havoc. I like seeing the family affair, just like with Rita, and then we find Zed, and then we find Master Vile, and all this stuff. It's super
good
interesting
to know that she has family.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely knew because Elgar is her nephew, but we never saw them. We didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes
sense.
But
she has extended family, which is super cool. So, General Havoc, I like his costume. I like his look. I like the gold and black and white. It fits my aesthetics. His sword is a little crazy.
Well, it's a fencing, fencing needle or whatever it's called. A what?
A foil.
There you go.
I feel like he would be more intimidating if he had like an actual sword or a stabby thing.
You have to remember, he's kind of like he's part of the elite. When he speaks, you can see it. When he first starts talking to the Rangers, he's sitting down with his legs crossed, and he's like, "Oh well, I want to blah 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 blah."
Sister, I have returned.
Yeah. So I mean, he's kind of cool and dangerous in his own way.
And for those of you in the chat, do you like General Havoc? I actually think he's probably one of my more favorite.
I love the way he looks.
And he's super
confident.
I love how he comes in. Like, we'll get into that in a little bit, but it's just like, dude, I like him. He has the Metalsaurus, Metallosaurus,
Saurus thing?
The metal dinosaur thing that he gets to go in. He has his own Zord. And I was kind of hoping that he might be like secretly a Power Ranger because he kind of has that helmet look and doesn't.
Oh, he takes it off and then it's like, oh.
I don't know, but he has his own Zord. And I thought that was super cool. Like, I am definitely on his team. General Havoc, I am definitely a fan.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I love the aesthetic. I love the way he looks. That suit and everything is great. There goes his Metalsaurus. And that was a Zord that nobody was able to play with. I'll tell you that right off the bat. That thing was definitely there to kill. We got a super chat.
Thank you so much.
Kamen Rider Blur 01. And he says, felt the Rangers got lazy after the cars arrived. That's all the time. The Rangers get super duper lazy because when they finally ran into that Metalsaurus, out of all the things to do, they were, let's call down the cannon. Why do you call down a cannon? You go ahead and this is a Zord. What am I going to do? I'm going to bring out another Zord. Nope. What did I do instead? Let's go ahead and bring out the cannon. That was a waste.
But even in the beginning, when the rocks were falling down, they're like, oh, let's get that Storm Chaser car to come pick us up. And I was like, they're rocks, man. You fought monsters. Aliens, sorry, let's be politically correct.
That's right.
Fought some aliens, and so you called the flying car boulders? Like, I don't know, like... Turbo is a weird season for me.
I gotta say, these episodes kind of give me the answer for why Andros, when he showed up, they made sure he was the leader. Because, really, TJ, I love the guy, but his calls and judgment throughout these 4 episodes progressively gets worse.
We are going to get to that as we progress through this.
Oh, my God. Oh, but Bulk Skull.
I really like them. They were super fun.
They were hired by Jerome to be the Monster Tour.
Okay, so my question is, Lieutenant Stone, who is no longer a lieutenant, so his name is Jerome Stone, who also runs the juice bar. Where does he get these little side gigs? He's trying to make
he's a side hustle. He's a hustler. Look, you know what? This is how you know he's someone that will always continue. Because if you ever ask him, hey, Jerome, what's your hustle? He says, oh, I don't have a hustle. My hustle is success. That's it. Always doing well. The guy just level up. That's
and you know what he spends his money on? Definitely fertilizer. All the different fertilizers.
He has a
Stone in that.
Oh, God.
He don't need no side hustle. No. Out of all the people in Angel Grove, he
doesn't need a side hustle, but he needs to make sure he makes money to support his habit for,
I feel like he should just work at a nursery, like a plant nursery, and then he could, combine his hobby, get some money, and...
But then other people are touching it when he wants to be able to.
I got it. He doesn't want anyone else.
He said that whole thing about, when I touch it.
That's true.
He's got a whole thing. You can't be mad at Jerome for that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this episode too, I feel like another one of those highlights were kind of like the Aqua Rangers, whatever they're called.
Oh, God. The Aquatarians, right? Yeah.
Hey, we got another super chat. What's up? Kamen Rider Blue 01. Oh, do you want to wear those fake turbo suits? The jank ones.
The old lady, the yellow one.
Honestly, I like that. I want to be the person with a cane, like the really old one that's just like I can't even keep up.
She wore the yellow one that had a long dress. It wasn't like a short one. It was a really long bastard.
Just kind of like hobbling through, and like the other one trying to climb over the fence. And it's like I got you, baby. I got you slowly.
Come on down.
Yo, I would be down if I could get the Dark Rangers. Dark Rangers, is that the one with the kinky eyes?
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's my number 1 costume if I had a choice. But this is definitely a close second for me.
Coming very
out of all of my favorite Power Ranger outfits.
Did you notice on the space balcony scene when she gets to that space base or whatever, and she's on the balcony? You guys can check this out on your Netflix. Literally at 9:54. And on the left end, and then on the right end it says 10:10. If you look, it says 11:10. If you look at that moment on your Netflix, you'll actually hear the Lord Zed and Rita kind of moon-based transition theme.
Oh, really?
Play just for a second. And I was like, oh, that's dope. Like, I did homage. When they finally get to the shot and they see the Earth and it's in that balcony, it just dun, 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 or whatever, how that song goes. It goes just for a second and then goes
Interesting. I didn't even pick that up.
I was like, yo, I got to write this down. It was amazing.
Nice.
9:54, 11:10.
Yeah, that's a fun fact.
Yeah.
What else? Do you have any other things to say about this particular episode? Good things, bad things, mediocre things, maybe?
I do, actually.
What you got? What you got for us?
So, General Havoc's henchmen.
Yes.
They are what are they called? What do they call? Yeah, okay. They are
chromites.
Chromites.
The little chromite.
Now they are chromites, and if you guys don't recognize the chromites, you have to think back to an episode called Shadow Rangers, and on that episode, on Turbo, you'll see the Shadow Chromite, and he looks a little bit like that. Look at him, fantastic, glorious.
He does. Super flamboyant.
Yeah, you know,
he's
really
fun
God, he was hilarious. But apparently, I started to look it up. They're a race of villains or like robots that are made, and they do all the stuff that he labels or mentions about them. They don't breathe air. They can survive underwater. Blah blah, all that good stuff. But yeah, so that's what that was. I had no idea. Yeah. Just telling you. Just letting you know. Just letting you know.
The little, and I like the colors in this version of it. I love the multicolored. I don't know. I called them like Aqua Rangers in this one. That was fighting. I was like, man, I wish they were a little stronger. I wanted to see more of that. I thought it was super cool. We're gonna get to see more of them in like the next episodes that we're gonna talk about.
That's true.
And I absolutely love it. One of my fun things for this was I actually really liked the Metallosaurus
that
fight.
Thing was,
I thought that was actually really cool, and it's destroying Angel Grove, which I think it should be. And I don't know. That was a big thing. General Havoc, Metallosaurus.
It's Metallosaurus.
I think it's Metallosaurus.
We're going with Metallosaurus. I don't care unless you guys correct us. But Metallosaurus is what we're going with. Man, I love the bad guys breaking into the cockpit.
Was that this episode?
Was it? Am I going too far?
It might have been. I actually don't remember. I watched these all in succession, so...
Yeah, it was. It was
one.
on this episode. They broke into the cockpit. And the thing is, I noticed that this is not, of course, the first time that we've experienced this.
We had Tommy being able to break into the original Megazord and punch Trini in the face.
And then we also had the one where Lord Zed Monster and the Emperor and the Machine Empire.
Yeah.
And then they had one where they were in the cockpit at one time, too.
Nice.
So every time that happens, it's usually during a shift in power when a villain gets stronger. We've noticed it with Tommy. We noticed it when it was Machine Empire versus Rita. And then now we noticed it here. Once again, a big shift in power for General... whatever his name
General
is.
Havoc.
There you go. So it's like that's the only time we ever see the Rangers cockpit pretty much commandeered. Oh, you are going for it. Everybody's loving this shirt. Everyone's loving
Batman
it.
Day.
Remember
Love it.
Batman? Yeah, I was gonna say.
It was yesterday. If you were in LA, they actually posted the Batman up on the City Hall building.
That's right. Blackwing,
they
did it in New York too. Blackwing was going crazy about it, man.
It's super cool.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, but all right. Back to this. That's all these things I really wanted to point out. I did kind of wonder at that point during the episode, is the Phantom Ranger a time traveler also? And we just don't know.
I don't know, but his invisibility cloak, I really like that. I think that's probably his strongest.
Oh, it's the best thing.
Thing that he has, like Wonder Woman's ship that turns invisible as well. I kind of like that. Super powerful. Like his color scheme.
Yeah, I dig it.
But we don't know who he is, and apparently we'll never find out because, man,
sorry. That's not going to happen for us. Do we want to do facts like, oh my God, this happened? Blah, blah, blah?
Sure, why not?
Okay,
what kind of fun facts do we have other than that cool little music ditty that you guys had? And for those of you in the chat, what would you rate this particular episode? As we look up these like fun facts, mistakes, and errors, we like to talk about them, at the end of every episode. But yeah, so those of you in the chat, what would you rate this particular episode as we go through these? So what we got?
What was this episode called? This was one last,
The Darkest Day. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm getting over a little cold, so if I keep coughing a lot, it's because I have cooties.
Yeah, she keeps coughing a lot, mostly because of you guys.
Yeah,
so remember that. It's all your
patient
your
zero,
fault.
If it breaks out.
Yeah.
You guys heard it here first.
Yeah, so...
Call the CDC.
Yeah, and if it happens, once again, as she's being nice not to say, it's all because of you guys. So just don't worry about that and be happy about it. All right, notes.
Oh, man.
The storyline concludes in one last hope. No, it doesn't, because then it keeps going. Now the notes are lying to us. I apologize for it. All right, during the launch tour, Bulks. Oh, these are long notes. Let me see about the errors. Errors. These are fun. And while we go over the errors, why don't you guys tell us in the chat, what do you think about the episode, and give us your rating. So, going back into it for the errors. In the first shot of it, in its holding bay, Metallosaurus, was seen in its second form. And that's the first shot you ever got to see of it. It was already seen in its second form.
What? It has multiple forms? I really don't pay attention to the show. Gosh darn.
Then later it comes out and it's like it has teeth. And then,
oh, yeah, but I mean, they always kind of open up their heads a little bit.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know. It didn't
it looked more like robotic at first. And then
man, producer, get us a side-by-side shot of Metalsaurus.
Metallosaurus.
I keep calling it a Metalsaurus. Metallosaurus.
Yeah.
1 and Metallosaurus 2. So I can see, because obviously I am.
It's okay. It just happens.
Everyone is the same. Divatox is exactly the same person because she's wearing the same outfit.
You are face blind. It doesn't matter if it's human or robot. Yeah. It's just you're face blind. That's fine. That's why you don't have to worry about people. So when TJ and Carlos morph, Carlos says, shift into turbo instead of TJ. Apparently that's a big thing. When Havoc first appeared in the turret. Fine, though. That's what I thought. When Havoc first appears in the Pterosaurus, he mispronounced the Metallosaurus as a Pterosaur. Oh my God, these notes.
Oh God, they look significantly different. Gosh darn, I am blind.
There we go.
Wow. It went from saw legs to like feather legs.
Yeah.
Armored face. Man.
That's a mohawk.
Really?
Cannon in the chest.
Pay attention. It has the same name, so I assume it's the same character. Hey. My apologies.
During the ambush at the beginning, we got a shot of the underside of a boulder. It was clearly made of cardboard or something.
Hey, those are some fun errors.
These are some interesting errors. We appreciate them. And now let's find out what you guys thought of the episode. Yes. All right, so right now what we have... Oh, my gosh. Okay, there we go. So, Thomas Franco, 3 out of 5.
Pretty good.
Juha Bach. Is it Bach?
I think Bach. Let's go with Bach.
Goes with a 10, so that's a 5. Mickey Perez gives it a 3. Edward Sanchez gives it a 4. Juha Bach then says, 5 out of 5. Common Rider Blur 01 says 4. Like the takedown, and also TJ realizing he lost the Megazord.
Oh, this was one.
Wow,
okay, that was the other thing. Like, okay, it was this episode where the villains were just able to go and like punch it in the face and glass broke. How is it able to take these blasts on a regular basis?
They repelled.
And it's just like, and it like shatters the whole thing. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my God, so good.
I mean, we talk about Achilles' heel, like that face visor.
It doesn't help anyone. What if the bad guy says today is the day?
They do nothing. Like it reminds me of that Simpsons episode
with the acid. Yeah. Oh my God! Matthew Thompson said 3 out of 5.
All right.
What do you mean we don't know who he is? The Phantom Ranger is definitely Joe. See?
When it works into one of our story arcs, it's definitely going to be
I know,
Joe.
right? That would be Joe, yeah, definitely.
When Cosmic Protectors comes out, everyone's already, it's not even going to be a secret. It's definitely going to be
Joe. I know it.
It's true.
The end, right?
Spoilers.
The rate system is 1 out of 5, not 1. Oh, thanks, Thomas Franco. We appreciate it. Don't worry about it. We do the policing. We are the police here. It's our show. All right, so Jared Hodges gives it a 4. Cyril Moore gives it a 8, which is a 4. Or, well, like a 7.5. Okay.
I don't matter. It was an 8.
Yeah, there you go. James Tamboro gives it a 5. Cat Yellow Ranger gives it a 3. And let's see. The Come Up 18 gives it a solid 5. 5, Mox, 5. Not 10, but 5. All right.
What would you rate this particular episode based on everything we talked about?
This episode, because there was so much that happened in it, I got introduced to a new character, a new monster, a new robot or Zord. It's so much new. This episode gets a 4 out of 5. It only gets that because, once again, some of the faulty work there. And it was just like, I'm going to knock it down just a little. Can't give it a full on 5. I know what Joe would give it, though.
Man, that hashtag show gives it out of 5 out of a 7 because you make our life difficult, and Funny K Comics gives it a solid 5. I want to also give this episode a 4. I really like General Havoc. I really like the Metallosaurus, even though I can't recognize what form it's in. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, and I'm really amped up. And this is before, like, I already know, unfortunately, that the Phantom Ranger goes nowhere. But if I was watching this for the first time, like this kind of excitement where I see this, I don't know, like metal dinosaur coming and actually destroying Angel Grove, and the Rangers have to fall out. They take the Zord, and it's really suspenseful. Like this particular episode is on the brink of holding my attention.
Dude, it's like, wow, it was a shock. it was a shock. I forgot about all of those things. Like, yeah. And it was like, to be continued. You're like, is it? Is it really?
Yeah, it's one of the first times in this particular season that it has my interest. It has engaged me. There were very few episodes, I feel like, so far, because I do trash on this show quite a lot every week. But this episode I thought was particularly good. Okay. But yeah, as we move on, we are going to talk about the next episode, One Last Hope.
One Last Hope. That is correct. Elle, are you aware that General Havoc is the original bad guy from Power Ranger?
I do not.
I did not know that.
Also, because I actually don't watch I don't watch any of the Sentai series, actually. Everything that I know is usually through YouTube videos. If you want to at me on Facebook, is probably the easiest thing, or in THS hashtaggers, you can at me there, send me some links, and I'll try to get into Sentai, because I'm actually really excited.
Well, I think what we're going to have to do is have to make one of the Henshin bros have a sit down with you and start teaching you some stuff.
That would actually be quite fun.
I think we'll arrange that. Maybe that can be an entire show. Introducing Elle to Sentai.
Should be fun.
I'd be down to watch it. I'd watch it.
Stay tuned for that in the future.
Boom. So, One Last Hope. This episode, just giving... we started off with them giving us a ticking clock when they started giving us info about the Power Ruby. Once they started introducing the Power Ruby and saying, hey, this is Superman's kryptonite, I was like, okay, this is going to be a focus.
I kind of feel like the Tony Stark thing, but also you can protect it with like a case or something, so they just don't pry it out of your chest.
Yeah.
Like maybe, I don't know, something, make that invisible, like
maybe
your car.
Just anything, hey, let me put a case in front. If he's worried about aesthetics, he can put a case in front of it and then make it where it's like, oh, okay, well, you can't get to it now, cover it up.
I don't know. It was one of those things, like, I'll allow it because it's Power Rangers and the suit does look super dope and I love it. So, Power Ruby on the outside, that's cool.
All right. It did look good. I'll say that to be the case. That's definitely something that I was like, yeah, I like the look. But I want to know how extensive the Phantom Rangers, history is, because everyone knew about particular things, like the whole myth of the Phantom Ranger and his power supply and all these things. Oh, watch out! And what's his name? Havoc was like, not him again. So even Havoc has dealt with him before.
Which is weird because Divatox was all like, I don't know, we will find out in time. And I was like, does that mean you just don't know and you're trying to cover up the fact that you don't know?
You don't know, right? No, but I'm like, hey,
Demetria, I misspoke. Demetria is just like, hey, I don't know anything about this. We'll find out about this Phantom Ranger in time. And Alpha 6 like, yo, yeah, we will. And
I'm like, maybe General Havoc just, he is General Havoc. He's dealt with a lot more. So I'm thinking with that being the case, he just knows. He can deal with the fighting. He can take care of it. He's probably dealt with him once before. But the thing is, still, it's like, I wanted to know what they knew. Because it's like,
we will never know, apparently, which is super frustrating because I really do enjoy this character.
I do. I was like, man, and he's got what's her name, all over him. Like, she's like, oh,
Cassie?
Yeah, anything you say. Oh, my
Tall,
God.
dark, and handsome and mysterious.
Yeah, right? Like, man.
I'm really sad that this is Cassie's introduction to us of her character, that she's kind of just this lovesick person over the Phantom Ranger. I really wish, coming into this with the whole Cash changeover, that they gave him a little more depth and a little more complexity as they did in the beginning episodes before they even became Rangers. And I feel like they're starting to lose it. Like, Cassie is just kind of like, this is what I do. I like it. I'm in love with this person that I don't know. And TJ's like, I'm a leader. And I don't know. It's very all flat characterization to me at this point. It's one thing that they're building up this Phantom Ranger, which goes nowhere. No. When you didn't even develop our main cast yet. Like, for those of you in the chat, if you remember back in the day, up to this point, who was your favorite Ranger and why? I'm super interested to hear, because at this point, I actually don't really have one.
For Turbo?
Yeah.
Or just
for now, between TJ, Cassie, Ashley, Carlos, and Justin.
Okay, so second, the actual Turbo team, who is your favorite? That's a good question, because I don't think I have one.
I don't have one.
I understand.
None of them are developed. I don't really care if any of them get
Dang.
I don't know.
I don't like Justin. That's a given. I don't. Whatever, he can.
Actor is fine. Writing for him is terrible.
Yeah. So I'm just, once again, I am naming the actual character, not the actor. So if you want to start drama, go somewhere. So Justin, not a fan. I hate Justin. TJ, I loved at first, but after these 4 episodes, I am like, dude, you are reckless. you really do not care about the team. You care more about yourself and how you look as a leader.
It's almost back to Jason. Like it almost feels like Jason vibes with TJ as opposed to Tommy. That's where we will always be a group.
And it's like, so that's it for TJ. Cassie, I kind of,
first I liked her. Chick, and then, I don't know, Ashley likes fashion and makes clothes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, give me more. Give me more.
Carlos likes to play football or soccer if you're in the U.S.
There you go. But that's it. I don't know anything about them. So that's a good question. I would like to know, like, what other people say. Oh, that's a big topic to have right there. See, people were saying it. Didn't care for any of them until the space.
Yeah, because space is what everyone talks about. Yeah. And, like, how these characters develop. And we're already how many episodes in with this new cast. And there's no one that I latch on to, which is kind of sad. Because I remember when we switched over from Mighty Morphin and Adam came in, immediately there was like 3 Adam-focused episodes. And that really made me care about him. He was definitely my favorite Ranger.
Definitely. So, but no, people are saying no. They're just like, nah.
Thomas Franco says TJ.
Jewel Box says none. Carlos is super boring.
I mean, at this point, like, we're not talking about space. We're not talking about later on. But at this point, like, did you have a favorite?
Yeah, Charles says he didn't care about any of them. And then anything changed later. But right now, no. Carlos said extremely boring. Wow. No, Ashley was my... Oh, well, never mind. Ashley was a cheerleader, yeah, but still nothing else. Oh, yeah, she was a cheerleader. Still nothing else, though.
And they never went back to play on that. So I'm interested in that because then I was like, oh, they're building up this Phantom Ranger. It's going to be a super huge reveal. It's going to be super interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm glad they're spending time on one of these characters. And we actually just got a super chat from the Power Rangers guy. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Working on a Phantom Ranger origin film. Any ideas?
If we do have any, can't share them with you, man. We're trying to go ahead and hold on to some just in case we have to do something.
Do spoilers. Cast Joe.
Yeah, there
make
you go.
It look like
Cast Joe. Make it look like Joe.
He already has a helmet. He has a suit. Yep, he is ready to go as the Phantom Ranger.
There you go. So if you're for any ideas, just make it Joe-centric, and you'll be fine. You'll go places, kid. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, at least with this group, you definitely will.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know about everyone else out there.
Everybody else may be upset. You may get hate mail. I don't know. But hey, we're still behind you.
Yes.
So, along with this episode, there were a few things. Once again, they tried to use the laser again.
I know on the big monster thing that's like pew pew, and it's like pew Rangers.
Yeah, it didn't work the first time. Why are we deciding? Hey guys, one more time. Again, this was a flaw of TJ. And it was making me upset. Like, where is his mind? Why is he not thinking clearly? But it was a flaw, and I was like, God, I used to love you, man. What'd you do? And then there was a horrible fight choreography when they were fighting against the Piranatrons. It looked so boring, so fake. At one time, the Pink Ranger just put her foot out to trip someone, and that was it. Like,
and then he was running, and she just went
like this, and there's a boom, he fell over. And they're like, yeah. I was like, what is happening? Did everyone quit for the day? And they were just like, well, let's shoot.
Hey, they had to call it in. It is one of those things, and I'm super curious if any of this cast, because I actually don't know a whole lot, and this is beyond my Power Ranger knowledge when I first started on this show.
Right.
But do they have any martial arts training? Because, like, Tommy definitely did.
Yeah.
I mean, JDF definitely did. I'm using the character.
Yeah, but did the other ones?
Johnny Young Bosch, obviously. Like, when you see him perform, he is definitely martial arts training.
Right.
Is there anyone else in the cast?
Justin Blake, he did. He was doing then. I don't know about Sullivan Ward, who's TJ. Okay. I don't know if he did. If he didn't, we'll at least be able to ask Ashley.
Nice. Yes. Tracy Lynn Cruz. Yeah, we can ask her how much training she had to do.
Exactly.
Because even with Amy Jo Johnson, she actually did. I think she did gymnastics because that was her doing it. Even if she wasn't trained in it, she knew enough to pass it off. So that's why I'm super interested in the battle choreography. You're right, was super weak, but I actually really did like the Megazord thing.
Dude, I love how he gave the new Zords.
Where was he hiding them?
Clearly the sewer. That's where
the
ship
tunnels
is. That's where everything
where
else
the tethered
is.
live, and he was like, "Hey, guess what? If there's Zords up on the top, there's Zords down on the bottom. That they're tethered. So we're gonna get you some rescue Zords." And I was just like, "What is going on?" It was tripping me out.
I love that. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. That is so true. There's Zords up top, there's Zords on the bottom.
Yeah. Tethered. Hey, if you guys want to make that that crossover. You got the idea here.
Oh yes, please. Of your, oh my God, Toku Kid, where are you? I need that design now.
I wanted to come up with some scissors. Yes, and it's just like it is my time in the light.
It's 2 different Zords, and it's just a 1 Zord here. Oh my God, no. We'll take what's that really horrible version of the Rangers that you dislike?
Oh yeah, the Dark Rangers.
Yeah, with the weird knit. Blah, blah.
Yeah, and it will be the lopsided eyes that are red.
And it will be the one team on one side, and they're just standing there like, huh? And then the other team on the other side, and all of them have the scissors, and that will be the T-shirt. Oh my God, I love it. They're tethered, and they're just sitting there.
But it just trips me out. It's just such a weird thing. Like, where did the Zords come from? How does he make these? What happens to our other, what was it called? What was it even the other Megazord called?
I don't even remember.
Like, they're all called Megazords, but we have the Rescue Zords come in. They don't even
the Turbo, I think it was the Turbo Megazord.
Turbo Megazords, and then you have the Rescue Zords. And I like that they were all on their own.
Yep.
And they were battling. Yep. But also at the same time, I'm like, you're a fire engine. You're blasting with just like water and not lasers or fire or something that like can actually demolish this. And it's like, I'm a dump truck.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what is going on?
Lost.
This was weak, man, but it was funny.
I can say this because I think they're at least old enough here.
All right.
I lost my shit when at the one moment that blew my mind was when they went ahead and stuck the giant Zord with the needle. Did you notice that?
I don't even.
Oh my God!
Wait, with a needle?
Literally, she was like, the Pink Ranger rides up in the thing. She's like, "Mind if I take my shot?" And then the next clip is a needle rocket shooting off into the Zord's butt, and it goes and it jumps up like floats in the air and then lands. And then it got so upset it knocked over the water kind of thing, and it rolled over, and then they shot water back at it, and it hit him. Like
this
that whole
particular
thing.
like Sentai series was supposed to be incredibly slapstick, incredibly funny. So I mean, they're making do with what they have. I think they probably could have cut out some better scenes. But yeah, I don't know. Like the whole Rescue Zords, he doesn't really have time to really explain it or why they're stronger. They look super weak. It was super funny. But yeah, like I don't know. Like Ashley gets a tractor. Carlos gets a dump truck. You know, fire engine is TJ. What is Cassie's? Is hers like an ambulance?
I'm telling you, it's an ambulance, and that's why
it's just like an ambulance. So she gets the whole like she's like the healer in the group.
Yeah, and she comes in and she just
shoots
she
needles
you with
up
needles.
butts.
She's like, oh, what's wrong? Is everything okay? Good. And you're like, oh.
Mikey Perez says the Rescue Zords are my guilty pleasure. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think they're super funny. I don't think they're strong. They look weak.
Yes, I agree.
But you know what? It's funny to see like where this goes from like dinosaurs or I mean Mastodon's not really dinosaurs. Saber-tooth tiger. I mean like I haven't seen like weaker Zords since like the house ones where it's like, hey, we're like little temple houses and we come in. I was like, that wasn't really my jam. These aren't really my jam, but at least they're funny, so I can latch on to it and I think it's okay.
Ultimately, I mean I think it was there was something that was fun. There was something that you noticed, and they really started to pull out with the slapstick on this whole thing.
It did.
Later it gets even more. So it was like, oh, okay. Oh yeah, when they did stick it with the needle, its eyes bulged out like
yeah.
That's right. So it's just like it was definitely heavy on the slapstick. But enough of us telling you what we liked. We want to know what your score is for this episode. So go ahead and let us know your scores while we give you a little bit of info concerning the errors.
Nice. What do we got on this one?
Well, I'm going to let you take over.
All right, Ninjora, let's go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so errors. So when TJ steps on the accelerator for the Fire Tamer Zord, I actually didn't even know that's what it was called, to be honest. You can see the initials VRV on the brake pedal. VRV being the name of the mecha character in Car Ranger. So I guess it carried over and we could, I don't know, just call it what it is. And while on one of their monster tours, Bulk tells the tourists that the Power Rangers fought Mechanizer on a street corner, but in Mr. Billy's Wild Ride, they fought the monster inside of a factory. You know, the locations for this, no one's gonna remember. They were like at a pier or a harbor for every time the Dragon Zord came out, and it's like whatever. That's super cool. And the first two shots of Metallosaurus, the one in the panning shot and the other after Havoc called his Zord the greatest build ever, Metallosaurus was seen in its second form. So again, they're switching up the forms, which is probably why I just see them. Like, I just assume that's what he looks like sometimes, you know? But, yeah, so the Turbo Megazord apparently had had data on the Phantom Ranger that the mentors didn't have. That's what I was talking about. Demetria was just like, I don't know, Rangers.
I don't get that. Yeah, because they were like, oh, here is some more info. And it was like, what? I don't get that. Why are they keeping it inside the cockpit? But meh, whatever.
I feel like the errors aren't that extreme on this particular episode. Didn't really see it. The action in it I thought was good enough to distract from all of these things.
Word. But I agree.
So what would you rate this particular episode?
This episode, really, there was a lot that happened still. Just with everyone having to deal with every, like, all the things that they were missing, what they just got new. So we got introduced to more new things, new stuff. So this episode, it still wasn't amazing, but I'm giving it a 4 again.
I'm going to have to agree with you that, like, my expectations are starting to, it's piquing my interest finally.
A little bit.
That first episode that we talked about this week, I was like, all right, we've already been introduced to the Phantom Ranger. He kind of comes, kind of helps. We got to hear him last week for the first time. And now we're getting a little more backstory. We're getting a little more involved. We have, like, a villain like General Havoc seems to know what he's doing and is giving the Rangers a run for their money, unlike Divatox, which I think has been getting progressively weaker. She left the detonators and is just rolling boulders down. So this one gets another 4. I'm finally interested in this particular villain. I like that he's able to take the Megazord. I like that they have new Zords, even though they're really ridiculous and I don't know how they're going to fight this thing. But they do it, so I'll allow it. And I give it a 4. It's not perfect because I'm waiting to see how this all wraps up.
Okay, all right, cool.
So
cool.
What do we got in the chat?
All right, so Kamen Rider Blur 01 gives it 3 out of 5.
Yes.
Jared Hodges gives it a 3. Edward Sanchez Productions says 5 for the Rescue Zords. Thomas Franco says 3 out of 5. We could have gotten Zeo Turbo team up. So, that's true. We did not get that. Later as time goes on, we don't get a Zeo Turbo team up.
I feel like it's hard production-wise to get
the... I mean, so it's like, we're not going to get it. Mikey Perez gives it a 3.5. Jewel Bach gives it 3.5 out of 4 out of a 5.
Funny K Comics, we were just... Our next episode is going to be the Fall of the Phantom.
That's
so catch us on that one.
It says it wasn't as good as the previous one. And you already answered from the K Comics. And let me see if I got... Oh, there we go. Jared Hodges, cut that and make that a 4. So he changes his answer.
All right.
And, now Funny K is giving this one a 3.5.
And the Come Up 18 gives it a 4. So I'm right around there. I really don't think it was as good, but man, that slapstick stuff with the what are they called? Ambulance Zords? The regular car Zords?
The Rescue Zords.
The Rescue Zords. You can tell how I'm invested in these names.
Not at all.
Not at all. I give them like fire truck.
Yeah, I don't know, dump truck,
tractor,
fire truck. Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah, she had a tractor. And it's like, I was like, whatever.
It's like you're gonna farm some crops. It was ridiculous, but I absolutely loved it. I
did. So yeah,
you gotta laugh at
I'll take a little bit down, but I'll give it so much. Yeah. So yeah, that's fine. Now the next episode is Fall of the Phantom.
Yeah, so I actually really enjoyed the beginning of this.
Okay.
We see like the mastermind General Havoc, and without any real spying devices, knows that Cassie is in love with the Phantom Ranger.
Oh my God!
Sends her a phantom letter at school,
right?
And kidnaps the girl. Like, dang, this guy fights dirty,
preying
on her emotions, on her interest in this Phantom Ranger. And I'm like, General Havoc, man, I haven't felt this excited since Zed came along.
Yes. It was someone that definitely immediately you were like, okay, I should fear because he knows how to play the game. He plays it well.
Yes.
Now, my thing with the Phantom Ranger is I'm always thinking about it. Was he the Phantom Ranger because it was like Phantom of the Opera?
You know, I don't even want to go that deep. I feel like maybe if he came out all scarred and eventually tried to murder Cassie, then sure, why not?
Yeah, well, but then he didn't, so I guess it's just Phantom Ranger.
I think it's just a name. And for those of you who've watched Car Ranger, I wonder what the translation of that character's name actually means
I
in
do want to know.
If it is close to Phantom, and that's why they chose the name.
That's why they chose it or not. Yeah, if you guys happen to know, let us know in the chat. We would love to find out. Mr. Kaplan is back.
Yes.
That was dope. That was dope.
We have not seen him in a really long time. I missed that toupee. He's looking mighty fine.
I love Mr. Kaplan, his baldness. Oh, boy. Well, I have something to tell to you. And they were like, oh, my God, Kaplan, you've been gone. I was on a bender. I don't know.
Like a school year bender? Like a 9-month bender?
He was like, I just couldn't take it anymore. I went and taught in the Himalayas or something. I don't know. He can do that. He's a teacher. That's what they do. That's where Johnny is right now. So, Power Ruby.
Oh, yes.
This is the Power Ruby. It is indeed a confirmed plot device in this episode.
And I'm okay with that.
Yes. We knew immediately, here it is, we're going to give you the plot device, and we're also going to present you a ticking clock. Yes. The villains need to get to it, and the good guys need to make sure that they can protect it before the villains do. That was fine. That is just a basic way to tell a story, and a great way to tell a story if you do it right. So far, it seems like they were doing it well. Because they let us know, now we know what's going on, and we're all concerned.
Yeah, and Jukebox says, why did Divatox give the Ruby a kiss after she took it? I think she just likes Ruby. She likes gold. She was counting her gold in the last week's episodes.
I mean, you don't kiss your money?
Yeah, like Scrooge McDuck?
Yeah. I swim in my gold coin pool, and then I kiss every ruby I have every morning before I walk out the door.
But yeah, I don't know.
Crazy.
It's a fun thing. Like this Divatox is way more flamboyant, way more has a lot more character. So I can kind of see that acting.
See,
she's not angry versus other would be like, yes, my Ruby. And this one is more like, oh, my Ruby. And this is what I've been waiting for.
Yes, she was happy about it because I would be happy too. I'd be happy too. I was also happy.
Funny Comics, the Blue Centurion. Was with Signal Man. Okay, that's also another thing. I like how you bring it up because I never remember he's supposed to show up until he does. But why wasn't he showing up during all of this when their Zords got knocked down? He should have been there to be like, oh, you guys don't have Zords.
Oh my God, here I show up. Yeah, so the Blue
everything is so arbitrary. It depends on what footage they have and what they can work in, I guess.
Ranger was Billy. I guess the Phantom Ranger was Billy. Oh, man. But wait, so you guys don't know his name, though? The Phantom Ranger's name?
He don't have a name.
Yeah, well.
He's Phantom Ranger. We don't know who he is. It doesn't matter. He can be anyone. He could even be you.
Oh, God. That's scary.
But yeah, I mean, kind of like we have another episode after this, but it's one of those things where this episode, I like Cave Fight. I thought that was super fun. I thought that was a highlight of this episode for me, to be honest.
I love the fact that he extorted them and said, if you guys want her back, make sure you give. Yeah, that was dope. I love that because it was like, oh my God, now we're really putting things, now we're raising the stakes here. And they're like, they have to figure out, are we just going to give up this innocent guy because we want to save our teammate? But the big problem, once again, was here goes TJ rushing into danger and bringing the whole team into danger. Go ahead and saying, well, they even said, like, TJ, I think it's maybe a trap. Yeah. All right, guys, he's on the turbo. And they're like, wait, see, oh, fuck, son of a, and here he goes.
But he's been like that, but that is his character. Because when we first get introduced to TJ in the beginning, he jumps off the bus, wants to go help Kat. And then Cassie's more the reluctant one that seems to be a little more logical. Hopefully, their chemistry can eventually even each other out and they become a better team because of it. I doubt that it will because, writing is hard sometimes. But I feel like there's a lot to learn from each other, and I wish we had more backstories for TJ and for all of the characters so we can at least empathize with why they're being brash.
Oh, yeah.
Like if there was a situation when he was a kid and he didn't act and he always regrets it and that's why he is the way he is.
That's
hopefully
true.
We'll find out something like that.
That's true.
But yeah, like this one and having like the chromites and all their colorful glory, that was another highlight for me.
My thing was, it just didn't feel like they had an answer. Even by this episode being written and shot, of who the Phantom Ranger was going to be.
They didn't. I don't think they ever did.
They did at all. I don't think they ever did. So now it just went on. We were like, who cares? We're not going to give you an answer.
Which is weak. Why are you wasting time when we're not even, the regular characters, our main cast isn't even developed, and you're spending all of these episodes on a Phantom Ranger with no payoff?
No payoff.
It's probably one of the weakest story arcs in Power Rangers so far.
It is.
I almost... Oh Alien Rangers had a better payoff than this did, and I absolutely hated Alien Rangers.
So here's a question. I did hate them. I did. I really did. So that's not a problem. But here's a good question.
All right, what you got?
Why were Bulk and Skull still giving tours when the monster was rampaging around the city? Because that moment when they were bringing out the fake ranger and they're like, oh, blah, 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 that's not a real ranger. Oh, just like that's not a real monster. Oh, God. And that monster just poking out from behind the building. Like, how did no one see it? Like, How did no one see this giant monster that's been rampaging around town? And why would they still want to work and be, here, give out
it's good money. Look at all the people that are willing to take their tour, you know? Like, that's some good money.
These people are not afraid of anything.
And then I feel like, I don't know why these people want to see monsters. They see them every day.
Every day.
Or are these people coming from, like, New York, Chicago, like, I don't know, like Nashville, and they're like, oh, we want to see some monsters, and it's like one of the gimmicky things in Angel Grove. Like, I don't know, but I like that. I like that as their, like, side gig. And we have another super chat. Thanks so much, Kamen Rider Blue Zero.
There is the answer.
What? And Sentai Phantom Ranger's identity is revealed. Interesting.
Okay. So I just wish we knew here.
Yeah, so they didn't want to cast another person, or they just stopped caring, which is kind of okay too.
Oh, and also I saw a question concerning Yoshi. We've interviewed Yoshi quite a few times. You can go ahead and check us on the channel, and you'll actually see some of our interviews that we've had with Yoshi already before. We recently had him do our review of Lion King.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, so you can check that out.
But hopefully we could get him on board again, because like he is one of our favorite Rangers.
He is one of our favorite Rangers.
Super nice. Him and his brother are so kind, so charismatic.
Yeah. So we'll probably have him on again too. But until then, just to make sure that you're enjoying it, you can go back, check some of the old videos. You'll see him right there. So then we'll get to work it out and get him back, so you'll be caught up in time. So, meanwhile, back in town. So the Phantom Ranger was at a moment inside of a cage, remember?
Yeah.
And so the
But that's after they took him, because the whole thing is like, the other thing that I love about Havoc is like, fooled you once, got Cassie to come here, fooled you twice. You thought she was turned to stone. Yo, it's me, and now I have the red ruby. Havoc is on his A game, and this is the first time that I'm like, yes.
Dude.
You need to kick your sister out. She does not know how to take over Earth. She's been chilling in that lake for a quick minute, not really doing anything. I don't know how the Rangers just didn't go and fish her out.
Oh my God, that is so true.
I forgot that because Havoc is amazing. I absolutely love him. I am on board with this particular villain.
That was genius, because it was like sprinkle. Oh my God, now she's stoned. Oh, I'll get the ruby. And then he was like, ha! Gotcha, bitch! And then just disappeared. He was ready to disappear. And then he took him off. And it was like, what? And then here goes TJ again. Oh, no. And they stopped and they leave the shot on him. And I was like, yeah. You felt that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You idiot. I'm like, man, I loved you at one moment. What happened to you, man? You were beautiful, baby. Beautiful. I don't know. That's the way I felt about it. But they had him in a cage. So the Phantom Ranger's sitting there in the cage.
With the Megazord, the old Megazord, where it's like, hey, come and get your Phantom Ranger.
It was so good because he was playing with their heads the whole time.
Yeah.
And he just, to make sure, insult to injury, oh, did you forget something? Like a keychain. And it was just like, they were like, oh, they're getting so upset. But while they're fighting, he drops the cage. The Pink Ranger drives over and opens him up, opens up the cage and says, oh my God, I'm going to take care of you. And he says, you need to form the Rescue Mega Ranger.
Yeah, so this is what we get to see, this Megazord.
Exactly.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See Zords fighting Zords.
And then she runs
tethered
off.
with the people in the light. I love it.
I love it.
It's great.
And they run off and they have their fight and they are going for it. And when they keep doing the fight and they are just going. I'm sorry.
If you guys, Fernando, is that how you say it? If you guys did a live interview with JDF, the viewing would be through the roof. I don't want to spoil anything, but stay tuned. If you get the opportunity, please follow Cosmic Protectors on Facebook, follow Cosmic Protectors on Instagram, and also stay tuned on our Patreon page, /Cosmic Protectors. That'll probably be where announcements will go up. Can't say anything right now. Probably can't say anything for a little bit.
I can't say anything, but I just say, I just saw it and I laughed and I said, you should check that out.
But stay tuned.
But back to it. There's a moment where, after they're finished fighting, they run back to find the Phantom Ranger.
And he's gone.
He's gone out of the cage. How did we forget that we just sent the Pink Ranger to get him out of the cage?
Well, she had to come back and form the Megazord, man.
Well, why did they think that he was just going to stand there? She said, let me get you somewhere safe. And he told her, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Go form the Zord.
He went back to the sewers, man.
Yeah, but they went back to the cage. That's what I'm saying.
Because that's the last place they saw him. Like, when you lose a child, you don't just wander willy-nilly. Right. You go back and retrace your steps, man.
we are fighting a giant thing. You come down, go to this cage that they have, producer Magnum Magnum in, and you say, Producer Magnum, I'm going to go ahead and save you. And he's like, okay, but before you save me, go do that. Don't worry about me getting somewhere safe. I've got it. You go and do that. Are you going to come back to the cage?
Yeah, because that's what I told you to wait here.
No, you didn't.
I said sit.
You said, I want to get you somewhere safe. And he said, don't worry, go do something. So you were going to take him somewhere else?
I guess I probably would have just teleported him to the command center, to be honest.
Oh, that's true.
I that's what I was hoping for, where it's like, yo, Demetria, you're not really good on stage advice. You lost your whole gimmick of asking questions. Why don't you do me a solid and teleport this dude that saved our life multiple times to the command center? Alpha 6, yo, can you do that? Thanks. See you later. Love, Cassie.
See you later, love, Cassie. Oh my God. That would have been the best way to do it. She just leaves that voice message and then walks away.
I mean, I don't know about the continuity about a lot of this stuff. I'm too wrapped up in the action. I think it's okay.
That's so true. Why didn't they just do that? You would have saved so many lives and everything if you were to rate. Oh my God. Okay, well, fine. That makes sense. So, with that being the case for the episode, is there anything else that kind of stood out to you?
That was pretty much it. Like, we talked like a good amount on this particular episode. Again, I thought it was super fun. I think talking about it does raise how much I like it. Because, I mean, realistically, they were fun.
Yeah.
But I think because it's been so long in this particular series, that I'm just like, yo, compared to Zeo, man, this has been a really, really weak season for me. So these episodes have finally gotten me hyped up. It was a slow build, but these 4 in particular I thought were really, really fun. So do we have any errors? And for those of you in the chat while we read through these, give us your rating on this particular episode.
Yeah.
Let us know out of 5 how you rate it.
And while you guys are, like you said, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit more info. So, when it comes to errors, the Metallosaurus scared the Monster Taurus. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. And when it happened, it was in its regular mode again.
See, it's a shapeshifter.
It is. Cool. It doesn't know what it wants to do. Maybe it gets in its regular mode after it's like cooled down. It's not really,
maybe,
like, okay, you fight, it gets up to that point. It's like Final Fantasy, a limit break.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm better. And then after the fight, we go back to being Cloud.
Yeah.
It could be that way. That could be it. That's all the errors though it gives it. Let me see if any of the notes are interesting. Miss Appleby, who has last appeared in blah blah blah. Oh, she's mentioned. And we already saw Kaplan.
A lot.
She does.
Great English teacher.
Special.
Yeah. How would you rate this particular episode?
Honestly, if I had to give this episode a rating, it's going with everyone else has been going on for this. Yep. It's going for a 4.
This one actually raised my expectations for General Havoc. I like that he was able to manipulate Cassie. I like that he was able to manipulate all of the Rangers. He got his desired object, which was the ruby, fairly quick. The chromites were really colorful. I really like that kind of rainbow aesthetic to those guys. And yeah, the Zord's like in mech form and like, see you later, Phantom Ranger. You just kind of disappeared. We don't know where you went. Creates more suspense. I actually give this episode a 5.
All right, cool.
It bumped it up enough for me to be super excited.
I can go for that.
Yeah. So what about you guys?
Yeah, what about you guys in the chat? Let's see. So in the chat right now, what we got Thomas Franco.
Okay.
4 out of 5. Who y'all think is the more menacing, Divatox or Havoc? And why would you... And who you got, El? Who you got, El or Daniel? So, out of the 2, who's the most menacing and who do you think will win? Havoc on Havoc. That's it. Havoc would win, and Havoc is more menacing.
I said, I talk a lot of trash on Divatox, too, and I feel like she's the weakest villain that we've encountered so far.
Oh, the weakest villain.
Man, Logarth back in the day has more powers than Divatox. Cold breath, down with that.
Oh, Lord, I'm done with it. I'm done with that.
Juha gives it a 5 out of 5. It's a good build-up. I definitely agree with you.
Cat Yellow gives it a 4, so that's not bad.
Oh man, Kamen Rider Blur 01, the fake Ranger costumes. Give it a 4. That's what bumped mine up to a 5 too, because I definitely want one of those. Definitely want the cane.
I want the cane. I want the jankiness. I want the jankiness. I need to wear the red one because it's kind of there's more room for me. So Mickey Perez gives it a 4. Edward Sanchez also gives it a 4.
Nice.
Funny K Comics.
Follow the Fandom gives it a 4.
Yes. What else we got? Oh, there
Jared Hodges, I'd like to give it a 4 out of 5 because King Kong Metalsaurus moment did really like that. Like the fights are getting really good.
That is true. Which Divatox do you prefer, the second or the first or the second? Honestly, when we just did the whole look, honestly, They just wrote a little bit different, but they are both the same in my opinion. And Come Up 18 gives it a 3.
Yeah, Funny K Comics agree. Divatox is way too weak for a villain.
See? Now we're getting to the last episode.
So our last episode, we're running out of time, so we're going to kind of go through this, baby.
Speed through this
so the Clash of the Megazords, and this is kind of what it's been building up to, and it's a fun title.
Yes.
I was immediately intrigued by this. But yeah, they got the ruby, and you know,
Phantom Base is in the sewers the whole time. I mean, we kind of figured that out.
Yeah.
We knew it.
There was some ridiculous stuff. I wish they didn't waste time on like the metal monster they originally created, because they're like, oh, he's stuck in the tractor, he's gone by. Let's get the weaker monster to defeat the Rangers. And
Why?
I'm like, what was the point of it? What? Like, was I the only one that's like, hey, they have a magnet that's pulling your ship, and so you put the metal monster, and then he's gone. And I was like,
oh God,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If they're playing into the slapstick comedy of what Car Ranger is, like, it is absolutely on point.
It works.
But man.
But dear God, I was just like, wow. Also, again, another example where TJ was rushing, and here comes Carlos being smart enough to be like, hold on. What are we doing? Like, you know, he was like, what is the plan? Because I don't want to turn into stone. You know, I don't want to die. Like, it was one of those. He said immediately. It was like, hold on, well, what is the plan? And he goes, I'm going to go and fight this thing and do all this and blah, blah. And Carlos heard in his head, oh, self-sacrifice. No problem, man. Go ahead. And that's when he's like, go ahead and let him do it. Because I don't want to be the one that has something wrong with me because you made the plan again. So by this point, people are starting to look and question TJ. But we did see that TJ was indeed a skilled fighter and a dirty fighter by shooting that thing right in the face. He was like, "Oh no, my sword! What's the? Bang, bang! Gotcha!" That was it.
Yo, TJ came from the hood. He knows how to protect himself, man. He was like, "I don't care. I'm gonna survive today." What do we tell Death? Not today.
Oh yes, not today. It might have been the Chappelle stand-up where he goes like, bird pelt or whatever that thing is. Then he goes, buckshot. Like he just get blasted him. Like, I'm not gonna die. Bop, 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 bop. It was so good. That was like, oh, okay, all right. I see maybe why you're the leader. And then there was a moment where it felt like, wait, did TJ just kill that guy? Where he like cut the battery and the thing fell and the explosion happened. And I was like, oh my God, TJ killed that monster. And then the monster gets up and they make it grow. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess TJ didn't murder anyone yet. But I was hoping for it. I was looking for
that would have been actually really fun. That would have been really dark. That would be an incredibly dark twist as this is becoming more and more slapstick.
Yes.
All right.
But well, we didn't get it. We also got Cassie with the whole thing of, are you leaving me? I mean, us? That was a moment where I was like, ooh, girl. Yeah. Girl, your Freudian slip is showing. You gotta cover that up. Oh my God. Like, she was.
I don't know. My biggest thing with Phantom Ranger, if we're already going to be talking about that, is like, he was like, I go where I'm needed for as long as I need it. I'm like, you're not Mary Poppins? These are the Banks twin kids? What are you doing? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like, you just sail down with your little bag of tricks, like your little Megazords, and you leave them, and you're like, now you guys are equipped, and the winds are changing, and now I must go east. I'm like, yo, what?
Oh my God.
That was a weird goodbye. And we don't find out who he is.
He's a Mary Poppins. That's so true.
The way he said it, it's like, I only stay for as long as I'm needed.
And she was like, I know she wouldn't be like, but I need you. It was so. She
was that would have been a good line. That would have been a good line.
She says, she looks at them like, forget it. I don't care anymore. She goes, but I need you. If he was like, oh my. Oh, that sounds like commitment. I gotta go. It's okay, and just walk away. Cause that's why he ghosted her in the end, and he phases out, so she can't even see when he walks out the door. He was like, nope, not following me. Yeah, he was like, not following me, and he just walked off.
And I feel like the other thing that was kind of weird that they just totally let go. I feel like TJ should come up and it's like, yo, I'm tall. and dark. And handsome. Yo, remember that thing on the bus? I thought we had some chemistry.
Honestly,
man.
Honestly, in the previous episode, I thought that's why he made that judgment call and rushed off to go ahead and save her. Because of that connection from the bus. I wonder if he would have done that for anyone else. If it was like, oh, they kidnapped TJ. He's like, all right, we need to come up with a plan. And then they're like, oh, no, they kidnapped Cassie. Everyone get out of the way. Let's go now. Like, it was just like, I wonder if that would have been the case. If it was different when it happened that way.
Like, I mean, it's a weird thing, right? I kind of feel like as he walks away, I wanted TJ to come through the phase and just be like, I'm tall, dark, and handsome.
Oh, that would have been it. I can be
mysterious.
That was right. That would have been it. That would have been the biggest thing ever.
I mean, the writing for this just kind of like, it never comes back. We don't. No. So I'm super excited. So we finished up, the Phantom Ranger arc. Mm-hmm. We don't know who he is. We don't know where he goes. We don't know where he came from.
Nope.
It was kind of a waste of story, but I mean, these were my favorite episodes so far.
Yes.
Especially with the new cast. This is my favorite set of episodes.
It is.
But yeah, it's how do you say? Like, it's great for Phantom Ranger, but it sucks for our main cast because, like I said, we don't get to know them.
We never get to know.
It's very superficial, and
it sucks for the main cast, but it also sucks for fans because. Here we go. This is the one thing that fans till this day continue to talk about and say, this is where Power Rangers dropped the ball. This is where Power Rangers stole some happiness from us and didn't give us an answer. Yeah. And it's essentially an error. And speaking of errors, we're going to give you just probably one or two. Let's figure out which one's going to be a good one.
And while we talk about the errors, for those of you in the chat, if you could rate this particular episode, and if you give a different rating for the whole story arc of the Phantom Ranger, was it 7 episodes? 7 episodes, I believe, that we did for Phantom Ranger. Let's give the story arc a rating and the episode a rating if they are different.
I like that. All right. Well, it is unknown where is the Blue Centurion or what happened to him, as he is not referenced or mentioned in any of the last episodes.
Yo, that fool is getting high with Ninjor for sure. They're somewhere in a flatting situation and they are eating Cheetos and they're like, we are underappreciated. Screw these guys.
I'm so tired. Yeah. This is really good. I love these Cheetos. And he's just going off on it. Yeah. He's like, what's his name? Just like blowing smoke in his helmet. Just shh. Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's hotbox this car, baby. Blue Centurion's like, I'm way ahead of you.
I'm way ahead of you.
This got really inappropriate, like age inappropriate.
Then after that, a fly comes in, and he's like, oh, because he freaks out for flies.
Yeah.
So, so no one knows where he is, and that's a big question. Yeah. The Turbo Megazord completely vanished from when TJ left it, and after the cross patch arrived.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, because now they have 2 Megazords, I'm assuming, or at least one in reserve. So.
Right?
I feel like, can a single person pilot a Megazord? Because that would be interesting, where it's like, yo, TJ, you're reckless and you're on a suicide mission. You go pilot that one. We got this.
Oh, God.
This is a self-preservation group. Kamikaze group.
Kamikaze group over there. Yeah, you go that way and we'll all be fine. So now let's see what everybody else thought about the episode and where their eyes are and what they see it to be. Mikey Perez gives it a 3.5.
All right.
Edward Sanchez gives it a 5. And Phantom Ranger is Mary Poppins, y'all.
He really is.
Jared Hodges' story arc, I give it a 4 as a total.
Nice.
Thomas Frank, no, not yet. Okay, you got a number. You got my number, right, babe? Oh, on the bloopers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that. So that's a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
And Joel Bach gives it a 3.5 out of 5 for the episode. Don't worry, guys. I'm the Phantom Ranger. 20-year mystery solved.
I love it.
So I like it. Funny K Comics gives it a 2.5. Common Writer
and that's
Blur,
for the story art.
Yes. Yeah. They did it once in Zia. I don't know what's going on there. Tom Franco said he gives it a 5 out of 5. And we are good with it.
What would you give it? What would you give this episode, and what would you give the overall story arc?
Okay, so this episode, again, gets a 4 from me. But the whole story arc?
Yeah.
Because out of everything else I experienced for Turbo has been this story arc, even though I didn't get the answer and the ending I wanted, it gets a 5. Compared to everything else in this season, it gets a 5. Comparative. That's how I'm doing it.
Only because, like, if I had watched this originally, I would think that the Phantom Ranger would reappear later in the season and his story arc would get wrapped up. Ooh. So if I were watching this not knowing that this is the end of the Phantom Ranger story arc, I probably would have gave it a 4 and been like, oh, intriguing. He's going to be an ally. He's going to come back to fight the big bad. He's going to come and get General Havoc or whoever it might be. But because I know that this is the end of the Phantom Ranger arc, this particular episode gets a 1. Like, how can you lead us up for 7 episodes, not give us any satisfaction at the end of this? Cassie will never find out, and I feel like this will ghost it on her, so she's going to have relationship issues. And if you ever want to talk about relationship issues, come check in Quest for Player 2 on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. But the overall story arc, because these episodes are probably my favorite thus far, and especially with the new cast, I give it a 4. Solid 4. Okay. I'm still a little bitter that we don't ever get to see this Phantom Ranger again or find out anything about him, so I can't, in good faith, give it a 5.
Ooh.
We already know that.
Blur says, get ready for a downward shift, in my opinion, till the finale.
Well, we've already been there. I feel like it can't get any worse.
Nope. I think we're already at the bottom.
And if it does, please tune in every Sunday around 5 o'clock to hear me rant about it.
And watch us slowly go insane if it does indeed get worse. Because we're already sitting here like, oh, this is the bottom. And they're like, no, there's more. And you're like, it's going to be horrible.
I'm only getting through this so I can get into Space. Space is the next series, right? And that's, is that Christopher Kamen-Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually, that guy is pretty cool and super chill. So I can't wait to see his particular season of Power Rangers.
I can't wait to just get him here so we can go over an episode with him.
Yes.
So he can be like, oh, wow, I did that. Like, it's like, yeah man. He's like,
those highlights, man.
Yeah, right? I love it.
Costume department,
He'll talk about him.
But yeah, I guess if you want to tune in next week, we are here at 5 o'clock every Sunday. Please stay tuned for Live from Gallifrey. That'll be coming up next in a few moments. And we have other news regarding LA Comic-Con if you guys are going to be around there. And if you're not in the LA area, we will be posting things on that #show.com. There will probably be things on that #show's Instagram, maybe stories, probably some posts. Make sure to tune in for that. This is our schedule. On Saturday, we have 2 panels, which is the Power Rangers Battle of the Seasons. It's going to be hosted by Joe. Then we have the Sci Factor, which is a sci-fi franchise that need to be rebooted. So we're going to have that moderated by Justin Keyson. If you've seen him doing any of our Ranger stuff, like at Japan World Heroes, he is exceptional at this kind of stuff.
Huge.
And we have Marvel Phase 4, the 101. So everything you need to know going into the next phase of Marvel. And that is also going to be moderated by Justin. Please tune in for those. If you're going to be at LACC, they have the rooms posted.
The rooms and everything else posted. You'll be able to go ahead and check that out. If it was too quick for you, don't worry. Head on over to the Instagram page. It will be there. You'll be seeing it there as well as in THS hashtaggers. So we're trying to make sure that we give you enough info and as much as we can when we can. So make sure you guys are there at the Comic-Con. If you're not at LA Comic-Con, you'll be able to tune in. We'll be making sure
we will definitely do posts. So please stay tuned. We're going to be live from Gallifrey in just a few moments.
Just a few.
And until then, you have to click.
You have to like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.